I will present you the Bulgarian report as advised, following the structure for which we have received many guidelines. But I would like to say that we prefer to stick to the original title, The Long Bulgarian Journey to Deliberative Democracy, because this really explains well the rocky well of Bulgaria to deliberative democracy practices and the modern constitutional making. Of course, following the structure, we start with the type of regime and constitutional law. And according to the Article 1 of the latest Bulgarian constitution, as you see from 1991, Bulgaria is a republic with parliamentary system of government. But this is according to the constitution. In fact, we have quite weak quite weak parliament and very powerful government the last 4 years. But the good news is that this is the last week of the government and of the parliament also, because in early April we have new elections, and I do believe that some things will change positively for deliberative democracy in Bulgaria. Of course, later on, we paid attention to constitutional law as a very important branch of public law that creates and regulates the organization of the state. Of course, it is not so detailed and leaving room for the rest branches of law. This I will not describe in details. It is in the report. We pay due attention on the constitutional history of the country, which starts with the first Bulgarian constitution, Turnovo constitution, 2 centuries, let's say, ago, followed by 2 socialist constitutions, as you see. And of course, we pay most of our time and attention to the latest democratic constitution, adopted after the tender revolution. So it really contains some provisions about initial forms of deliberative democracy. But as most of you know, that there is always a huge gap between the theory and the practice. So in few words, the Bulgarian road to constitution making and deliberative democracies practices in the modern sense was quite rocky, uneasy, due to numerous turbulences in history, lasting even today. But nevertheless, deliberative democracy, being a new invention for the Bulgarian landscape, it has some important manifestations. I will speak a little bit later. The Constitution of Bulgaria, although stable act, has been revised several times, 6 times so far. The last year attempt happily failed because it was really not good and not proposed in a deliberative way, as I reported last time. The formal constitution making is, of course, in the constitution, very well regulated. About the incremental constitution making, I would like only to mention that we do not have customary constitutional law. We are stick to written law, the constitutions, the constitution laws and bylaws, but also some acts of the president, of the constitutional courts, and even some acts of the Supreme Court give some additional added value to this aspect. So especially the constitutional court decisions, some of them they have regulative and constitutive effect, some of them have interpretive effect only. Here are the most developed deliberative practices in Bulgaria. Nothing new under the sun. You know all these things. Some of them on paper, some of them really in practice. I would like explicitly to mention the last three referendum, unfortunately, unsuccessful, as you see. But there were some quite successful national citizen initiatives, and active public organizations organized many deliberative events lately. But I would like to be clear, not during the last year. Thanks to the pandemic, maybe, deliberative democracy in Bulgaria was quite diminished. So, in conclusion, it remains disputable whether and how public deliberation will be involved in all these forthcoming processes that are ahead. There are some good indicators that not only highly professional discussions we have, but also some voices of the societies are heard. But still, we need to see this after the elections, or maybe during the next month during the campaign. I'm of course positive in this. And as a really final remark, I would like to wish you happy Grandma Marta. Maybe you know that this is old Bulgarian tradition. On 1st of March, we wish all our colleagues, relatives, all the best with these white and red flowers. That's all from my side.